Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Now, after ruling the country for 16 years consecutively, Nigerians voted out the People's Democratic Party in 2015. Since then, they have struggled being a leading opposition party until recently, when their Port Harcourt convention ran uncharacteristically smoothly, producing Atiku Abubakar as their presidential candidate. We are now in the middle of the election season, and the leading challenger to the ruling APC is the PDP. And at the head of the PDP is a seasoned deft politician, Prince Uche Secondus, who is here with us in the studio to tell us how the PDP will get into power. Many thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
We know it's the middle of election season and you're a very busy man, so we do appreciate you taking time to be here.
That's right.
Let me begin by asking you, your party has been asking a lot in recent times going into this election. First is the resignation of the Inspector General of Police. It's the resignation of the INEC boss. And most recently, you're asking the National Assembly to override the president's veto for withholding assent on the Electoral Amendment Bill. Even though you don't seem to have these numbers, how do you plan to do this? And in the case, which is the case that you don't have the numbers to do this, what next would your party be asking for going into the elections?
First and foremost, let's start from the Inspector General of Police to the INEC chairman. This was as a result of what happened in Ekiti, where the security agencies compromised with the INEC officials, and election was rigged. And this was well made known to all. Then the second was Osun State, which was the worst. Election was won. Certain wards and constituencies were cancelled, and the following moment they said it was for rerun. And of course, that was targeted to rig the election. Of course, they announced APC, where we won. In these two places, we were dissatisfied. We called INEC and we called the Inspector General of Police to intervene and see what best they can do. But obviously, from all the rerun elections and by-elections, it was the INEC and the security agencies, and that prompted us to call the Inspector General of Police and INEC chairman to resign. On the issue of the electoral bill that was sent to the president, we believe that it is not a question of PDP or any other political party, but is for the interest of all Nigerians, that we must continue to improve on our standards and quality of delivering the best election ever. Take, for instance, in Ghana, a lot of improvement. They don't hear parties complaining because they are almost perfecting the system of free and fair election. And you know that whenever there is no free and fair election, that's a recipe for crisis. And so the aim of this bill, the amended bill, was to improve and stop any form of rigging so that there could be transparency in terms of transmission of results from the polling units, automatic transmission. And you know, between the polling unit to the wards and to the local government areas and onward to the state, that used to be manually done. And anything happens. Now, if this bill will guarantee the automatic transmission immediately after election from the polling unit to the center electronically, all the complaint about changing results and maneuvering and manipulating results will be a thing of the past. This is the practice all over the world, and Nigeria cannot be an exception. And if the president refused to sign, it is inviting confusion ab initio from day one on election, because we need to improve. We need to improve. It is not a PDP affairs alone. The voters have rights to ask for the president to sign the bill. So it is not, it concerns everybody, whether APC or PDP or whatever party.
But President Muhammadu Buhari's position is not that he has anything against the bill in itself with regards to its intention. His quibble has been drafting errors. What is your take on that? Do you think his position is defensible?
It's not defensible at all. I mean, drafting errors can be corrected if there are T's to be crossed and I's to be dotted within 30, 20 minutes.
What about the issue of the timeline? What about the issue of the timeline, with his point being that it's too close to the date of the election?
I believe INEC itself have been preparing along this line of amendment because they were involved in the amended bill. So it is not a question of timeline. It is a question of the improvement of the quality of our elections.
Like you rightly said, the electoral umpire says it has been improving from what it had in 2015. It says that there will be no incident forms. It reassures Nigerians that card readers will be deployed for these elections. And so my question, and the follow-up to the first question I asked you, which you really didn't respond to, is if the electoral umpire has assured Nigerians that this is going to be free, incredible elections, and we have an extant law which was passed by a PDP government, and as a result, it has been said that we had a free, incredible elections, why is your party still asking the National Assembly to override President Muhammadu Buhari's veto? Plus, do you have these numbers? And if you don't, what next would you be asking for?
Every time for election, there should be an improvement. We cannot be stagnant. We must be moving forward. Yes, the ones that were used before, a lot of improvement in 2015. That law was signed by the PDP president. It is correct, but full of imperfection as we are, as human beings. We've seen all the other elections conducted in the country that was full of rigging, manipulation, and this bill in particular was to improve it so that there could be a way. Yes, card reader is there, is good, but what of transmission of results? We must electronically transfer this result to the center so that in between, if you do it manually, no one will manipulate. Yes, this bill is for all Nigerians and for all parties. So you may be surprised that we'll have the numbers to override or veto the president.
Okay, so how do you intend to get these numbers? Where are you going to get these numbers for? Because obviously
from all sides, from all sides, from all sides, from all sides. And we are also not sure of the assurances given by INEC. This same assurances was given in Ekiti election, and they moved over. They said once between twice shy. In Oshun, they made the same promise. We don't believe them anymore because at all times before election, they will make promises and they will fail.
So this now, your calls for INEC's boss and the IGP, Inspector General of Police, to resign went unheeded. You suffered, well, your party suffered defeats during a string of defeats. There was Oshun and Ekiti that you've just mentioned,
yes.
Kwara, Katsina, Bauchi. How confident do you feel going to the polls next year, bearing this in mind?
We are relying on the people that will stand by their votes. And you know, these elections, the ones in Ekiti and Oshun was won, but this one is going to involve the entire country. And we are confident that the people will come up. We are not relying on INEC or the police. The people must defend their votes. Like we said, absence of free and fair election. In advanced country, the Inspector General of Police should resign. Even INEC chairman, especially in the case of Oshun, it was acknowledged by the international observers that that election was rigged.
Oh, but was that
condemned.
But was that a function of INEC? I mean, there are so many parties at play here. INEC conducted an election. Political parties had a role to play. The people had a role to play. The security agencies had their role to play. The international observers did not say INEC rigged the elections. I mean, we all know what happened. There were voided votes, which are more than the votes casted between the two major parties. And so it had to go to a rerun. But you are saying that INEC is at fault for rigging that elections or rigged the elections.
Because they were not supposed to cancel any of the parts of the result that were received. That is for the tribunal. That is for the tribunal. You must, as soon as the result comes in, you must take it. And of course, you know that INEC knew that PDP was to win that election, and they had to literally, on their own, cancel against the electoral law.
It's about 66 days to the election. If the INEC boss does resign and another is appointed by the same government, would you not be crying the same?
Somebody else will take its responsibility. And
would you not be crying? Would you not be crying the same thing?
Somebody will do better, knowing fully well that the other person. In the advanced world, when you fail, you have to resign. You have to resign.
Let's talk about the geopolitical zones, because you're so confident in winning these elections. The Northwest, for instance, where President Muhammadu Buhari is from, he garners huge votes every time from that region. How are you going to penetrate this particular region?
His achievement will speak for him. If he has achieved a lot, yes. But you can see in the 3 years, have we improved? Is the economy better? Is the security better than 4 years ago? Those are the major issues. Are the life the ordinary man on the streets, have they improved? How much is a bag of rice today? How much was it 4 years ago? Those are the issues that are directly affecting the man. So Buhari, I don't see him having the same strength and the same numbers anymore.
People will say that certainly he has achieved in so many areas, even especially the agricultural sector. What would you have to say about that? I
don't think so, because the Agri-Minister is talking about yam tubers every day. You know, that's not robust enough. That's not robust enough. Rice is still being imported.
Are you saying that there is no achievement in the anchor borrowing program that has achieved more farmers? Is that what you're saying?
Look, today if you go to the north, with the amount of insecurity, how many farmers are on the farm? They will either be murdered or killed. You know what happened in Benue, you know what happened in Taraba, you know what happened in Plateau. These are all agricultural areas in the country. People are no longer in the farm. Is that an achievement? Are we better off in terms of security?
All right. So
more than 4 years ago?
So tell us, how would the PDP solve the insecurities in the north?
Of course, we will replan the security architecture of the country. They are still operating with the old standard and methods.
Let me ask you this. When you started the campaign, the presidential campaign in Sokoto, you said your party is on a rescue mission. We would like to know what you want to rescue Nigerians from first, because just 8 months ago, you apologized to Nigeria for mismanaging the country for 16 years. And so why should Nigerians buy into this, your rescue mission?
This is a major problem in this country. When you've made mistakes, you must be bold, like what happens in an advanced country, to come out and speak the truth. This government has not spoken any truth. We came out, yes, we were not perfect 16 years ago. We know that there are areas where we have defaulted, and we have to apologize to the people. It's straight, so that we can start all over again. And of course, you know, we rebranded the PDP, and by the special grace of God, we've repositioned. And that was why you witnessed the entire National Assembly collapse into PDP. We had 3 governors. So there's been a lot of improvement and rebranding. And we've learned from our 16 years experience. They say experience is the best teacher.
But with this
so
improvement,
we are sure gradually moving to rescue the nation from hunger, from insecurity. Let me tell you, maybe you don't know, more people have been killed in the last 3 years than the civil war that took place 1967 to 70.
Do you have
And
these
yet,
facts?
the facts are there. Nigeria is not data, but the facts are there. People are being killed every day. And yet we are not at war.
All right, so can you tell us in specific terms how the PDP, especially in the north, will solve the insecurities?
If you have a robust job creation program, like from my experience what we're going to do now, and you improve the economy, directly affecting the people, the ordinary man on the streets. That is one aspect. The other aspect, technology must be deployed. 3, you must invest in intelligence. These are the areas that are lacking. If you invest on the people, you invest on the new security architecture, then of course on intelligence, it can be good, and drastically you will see that the insecurity will be reduced.
But you referred earlier to improving and rebranding PDP, but your presidential candidate is from the old guard that a lot of the Nigerian population, especially the youth, would like to see retired from politics entirely. You have presented as a presidential candidate somebody who was in government, formed part of the 16-year PDP rot, which you have apologized for. Can you, so this raises credibility issues. Can you address this?
Look, the best for this country today is a man that has been tested, a man with huge experience, a man that has been tried, a man that participated in the public service, a man that has done very well in the private sector. This huge experience cannot just be waved aside. We must come out with such a man. That was why he emerged with a man who has gone through and has known it all, so that he can bring experience to bear. And I believe that he's going to do quite a lot of things and great things in the country. And Nigerian will start walking again, because as of now, he's dead. We know that it's an old guard. He was there in the government, and he did very well as the vice president. And I can tell you that the process of that 16 years and the process that he has gone through will make him a better person. You know, when gold is mined is black, he has to go through a process in the fire to be gold. So we now have a golden candidate who will give Nigeria the best and rescue Nigeria from all this mess.
How will Atiku rescue Nigeria? How is he better than Buhari in the deliverables of security specifically?
I mean, Buhari was a commander in the military.
He's a general.
He's a general. How can you
How is Atiku
compare
better than
Atiku
Buhari?
to Buhari in terms of security?
I think Atiku is better off. Is strong, is healthy, is energetic, is forward-looking. He will engage, he will persuade, and you will see him talking to Nigerians and talking to all the security agencies and deploring, even if he needs help, expert help. He can understand, he can comprehend. You need somebody who can interface, who can engage, not somebody that people will look at and say they are reading the body language. You don't need to go to university to read anybody's body language. The content will come out from him. And this is lacking.
You're talking about being energetic. Are we still trolling President Muhammad Buhari on health conditions? Is that what your party is doing?
You should know better than that.
No, we're
I'm just
asking you.
Because you just said to tackle insecurity, you're talking about your presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, being energetic and being able to interface. Is that really
And engage.
And engage. Is that really how to solve? Does it take an energetic person to solve the security challenges? Is that what you're saying?
You don't need to pass the ball. Let me give you a typical example.
Okay.
When we had crisis in Benue, the president claimed he sent the Inspector General of Police. When the Inspector General of Police failed to move to Benue, the president claimed that he wasn't aware, that his order was not carried out. We don't need such a president. We need a president who will move with a lot of energy. Forget, we're talking about human life lost. And so we need somebody who will be on the spot, who will not pass blames, who will take responsibilities of his action. But this president has never taken responsibility. He passes the ball. He's not aware of everything. He's not aware that Nigeria is in hunger or almost starvation in the country today. He's not aware of the insecurity. People are being killed. He's not aware of everything.
That's not, you cannot say the president is not aware of insecurity.
Especially
I mean, he's taking all the steps.
and all that. We're going to leave it at that for a second.
Let's go for a short break.
When we return, it will be all about more on politics, especially as it pertains to the PDP going into the 2019 general elections. Please stay with us.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News.
Still here in the studio with us is the People's Democratic Party chairman, Prince Uche Secondus. Thank you so much for sticking with us.
Thank you.
All right. So can you tell us, why should Nigerians trust the PDP again? I mean, after ruling our country for 16 years, we voted you out in 2015 because your administration was deemed corrupt and incompetent.
Quote unquote. I mean, this is a perception that's been going on for some time, but you can see clearly the difference between PDP rule and APC rule. I think they are more corrupt.
Okay, so how so?
The issue of corruption is all over the country, even before the advent of PDP. So it's not an issue where you pass the ball. So let's not even go there. The fact is that you can see clearly the difference between the 2015 and 2018 leading to 2019. Are we better off? Are people better off? The economy has improved. All the promises that APC made to improve the life of the people, $1 to 1 naira. Are we better off now when we're buying rice? Rice was about 8,000 today. Rice is about 18,000, a bag of rice. Are the ordinary people who are on the streets, are they better off? Those are the areas. In terms of security, the insecurity problem was only on the northeast. But now it has spread to the northwest, to the north central, scattered around the country. Are we better off?
Okay, how do you say that the APC government is more corrupt now? Please tell us in specific terms, because I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure we are all aware.
If you want me to go to specific.
Yes, please.
The National Insurance Health Scheme, you know what happened there.
Okay.
The 25 billion in NNPC, you know what happened there. The issues of MTN, you know also what happened there. So they are not news all over this government.
So the first issue you raised was the scheme. Okay,
Yes.
What proof do you have that it's...
Of course, the Director General there has been, or Executive Director has been removed. How many times he was removed, how many times he came in, and finally it's now removed. The issue of corruption is all over the place. It's all over the place. So they are not better off.
You asked a rhetorical question, that are Nigerians better off?
Yes.
Generally speaking?
Yes.
Generally speaking, your party will argue that the answer is no. But there was corruption in NNPC during President Goodluck Jonathan's administration. This current government, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, argues that what we're complaining about, what we're witnessing now in terms of corruption, is the fallout of 16 years of PDP misrule. They are laying the blame at your feet. Can you address this?
I don't think so. If at all the anti-corruption institutions were established by PDP when President Obasanjo came into power in 1999. Corruption was there. But to address the issue of corruption, he has to establish ICPC. It was established, it was not done by APC. He has to establish EFCC, that is being used now wrongly against the opposition. And of course, if you're in opposition and you cross over to APC, immediately you are saved and it becomes a safe haven for you. And so all the institutions, anti-corruption institutions, they were established by PDP. So we know that this must be done, we must fight it legally under the international rule of law or our own rule of law and the best practices all over, but not brutally. So we also know that when you talk about NNPC and Jonathan, but what have we seen now? We've seen where, when the president was away, it was all published that 25 billion was missing. $25 billion. Have they addressed that?
What, can you give us specifics of this $25 billion that went missing?
From a contract, when the vice president was in acting. It was there all over. It was well publicized.
You talk about the NNPC so much. Under your Make Nigeria Great Again policy document for Atiku, he speaks about privatizing the NNPC, and that in itself has raised controversies. Who is going to buy the NNPC? Because that was very vague in the document. And the NNPC has been said to be, you know, this big masquerade everybody's afraid to really take another look at. Don't you think that your party, even though it established this instrument of anti-graft agencies, didn't do so much with it and would not do so much with it? If you're going to privatize NNPC, who are you privatizing it to? Do you know the plans?
I think that it's a general policy document that needed to be, Nigerians needed to make input, and finally they will come out with a roadmap. And you know, NNPC, even before PDP came on board, has been a major problem or challenge to Nigeria. You remember when Buhari was a Minister of Petroleum, when they said money also was missing. So it's not the first time it has occurring and occurring. So there must be a solution. A solution, yes, to privatize NNPC, but the fact of the matter is that this policy document is a program where I believe that Mr. President is going to assemble the best of the brains to come out with a lasting solution. Because you can see that government is not the best businessman in terms of conducting businesses. Look at other areas, communication, what PDP did while in government. We'll privatize, we'll liberalize communication. Today, you can stay at anywhere in any community in Nigeria and make your call and get access to internet.
But the allegation is that...
All was done by PDP.
Great.
Let's not forget this.
But the allegation is that...
But before now, it was difficult to communicate.
Yes, communication has gone wide in all parts of the world. It's great that Nigeria has telecommunication now. But the allegation about the NNPC privatization is that if your candidate becomes the president, he would be selling it to his friends.
Those are the allegations.
Those are the allegations.
Back to the credibility issue.
No, so it's completely wrong. I think it was misinterpretation. What the policy document seeks to do is to bring everybody on board, the stakeholders. Which way do we move forward? We've conducted affairs of the NNPC several years with government, heavy government interest. I can tell you Atiku is going to be like Mandela.
Wow.
In what terms?
In terms that he will devolve himself from any business, all this impression that is being created by the opposition. He is going to come out clean. It's not friends, he's going to exactly behave like Mandela. He's seen it all.
Are you saying that Atiku will sell all his businesses when he assumes, if he assumes the presidency?
He's going to give it up.
And this is what he's claiming.
Intend to do.
He wants
yes, he will give it up.
Wow.
So do we have it on record that Atiku will sell all his businesses to become president of Nigeria?
Everything.
I say he's going to devolve, he's going to come out clean and give up his businesses. Look, Trump has given all his businesses to his children.
He did not sell them.
Yes, he's giving it to his children. He's on his own.
It's still within the family.
Let's go back to a bit of politics now.
Yes.
Ogun State is in the eye of the storm for the PDP as well. Who is the governorship candidate for the People's Democratic Party in Ogun State?
It's Honorable Ladi Adebotu.
Are you disregarding a court order and INEC recognizing Senator Buruju Kashimu?
INEC has no authority to nominate candidate for PDP. Whatever court matter is today, we're also in the court to let the court know that Buruji has no right over our nomination. He never participated in the process. He never bought our forms.
Is he a PDP member?
He was expelled.
Is he a PDP member?
No, he's
So
not a PDP member. He was expelled from the party. He went on his own, created his own form, printed it, and took his form, took everything with a court order, and went to INEC.
Do you know the status of his appeal?
We are still in appeal. The process is on, the appeal and then the Supreme Court.
So he's not a PDP
but
member?
He is not our candidate. By law, by electoral law, and by our guidelines, and by our constitution. He never participated. How can you give a candidate through the law? No, the court cannot process our nominations. Yes, he has gone to court, and we're in court with him.
But there's a subsisting order which says that Senator Buruju Kashimu is the recognized candidate.
It's been appealed. So when,
and you're still in court?
Yes, well, it's been appealed, and we are still in court. So he cannot claim that.
There are also insinuations that the presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, is in talks with the Buruju Kashimu faction.
Very, it's not correct.
You're authoritatively saying it's not correct?
I can tell you that.
But are there political resolutions to this legal tussle you're having in Ogun State?
If it will happen, we will thank God for it. But right now, as we speak, we're in court.
But an appeal is not a stay of action. Buruju Kashimu is still within his rights to continue his campaign.
It goes with it. When you appeal alongside a stay of action.
Yes. Until it's decided one way or another.
That's right. That's right. That's correct.
So let's look at the zone. We talked about the Northwest earlier, where President Muhammadu Buhari continues to garner huge votes from that region, where he's from as well. The Northwest, you have lost Ekiti.
The Southwest.
Sorry, beg your pardon. Southwest, you've lost Ekiti. And governorship, yes. In Ogun State, you cannot even decide who your candidate is.
Our candidate is Ladi Adebotu.
You say that, but the court says otherwise.
From the party point of view.
What is your plan to take Southwest going into this election? Do you even have any plans of winning some governorship seats in a region where the APC has held such a strong hold and formidable political structures over the years?
Southwest.
Yes.
We're going to take Lagos. We won't tell you how we're going to do it. It's a political strategy.
Okay.
Even Ekiti and Osun, you know that we won.
We don't know that you won. INEC said
INEC declared otherwise.
The fact of the matter is that we won. We're in court. We're in a tribunal with them. So the people came out and voted for PDP. And they denied us. The people are going to react. Their vote matters. So we are confident that in Southwest, we are going to be the leading party leading to 2019. It sounds not correct, but I can tell you that we are going to win.
Okay, let's move from the swing states of the Southwest to PDP strongholds, the South-South and Southeast regions. Well, it's always been assumed they were PDP strongholds. I'm going to ask you now, because current indications appear otherwise. With the defection of Governor Akpabio, is the Southwest on rocky ground?
South-South.
The South-South on rocky ground. What about Governor Nyesom Wike, who appeared aggrieved because his own preferred presidential candidate did not emerge, and he withdrew as the South-South PDP coordinator? Reports have it that he has since returned. What is going on in the South?
I'm quite sure that you know the facts. You're just putting the questions. Akpabio came from one senatorial district out of 3. That's a PDP state. Complete and total. Ex-governor, a senator, he can't swing it.
Are you disregarding the inroads Akpabio is making?
It's not making any inroads. Go to Akwa Ibom. And look, let me tell you, one important thing you must know is that, yes, propaganda, papers, publications, and all that and so on. On that day, what the day I call election day scenario, it will be the people that are on ground that will win the election. So we're sure of Akwa Ibom. On my governor, Nyesom Wike, very, very straightforward person. After the convention, on that same Sunday, he met with the presidential candidate. After that, he was appointed as the zonal coordinator of the presidential campaign council. And issues and concerns that he expressed have been addressed. And it's usual in politics. There is nothing new. It's not shifting ground at all. So we are the strongest, we have the strength, we have the people on ground. You can't even go to Bayelsa. We are going to take Edo.
What about Rivers, with Amechi as a formidable opponent in Rivers
Amechi
State?
is no longer in question. It's off the track. And you know what is happening in APC. You are not even putting that up. APC in Rivers is divided into 2. They have no candidates.
You say Edo. Edo is the stronghold of All Progressives Congress National Chairman's state. Edo, he was a former governor of the state.
Go and do pulling there.
So you're sure you're going to take Edo?
Of course.
Let's move to the Southeast. Reports emerge that Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu also feels aggrieved, and that the Southeast is not looking like the stronghold, like the sure banker that it used to be for PDP. How confident are you about the Southeast?
I want to confirm to you that the Deputy Senate President is totally 100% with PDP.
What about the Southeast governors, with the reports that they disapproved of Peter Obi?
Team, they were all with us the last Friday. They all participated in our meetings. They are 100%. People are just speculating. You know, we are strong in Southeast. It's no-go area for APC.
Let's remain in the Southeast before we go to other states where I know that we're beginning to see some shakings for the PDP. The APC has been wooing the Southeast for 2023 Igbo presidency, whereas there's this, well, you call it speculations, that the Southeast governors have abandoned the Atiku project because they see the presidential candidate has not carried them along and there's no clear cut. They see this as the shortcut to power in 2023. And there are indications that the PDP governors in the Southeast might even be working with the ruling party just to get a 2023 presidency. What do you have to say to this?
All that you have said is not correct at all. The PDP governors are intact and they are working with us. If you recall in 2003, what happened in the West. So we know that pressure from the ruling party, it can't work in the Southeast. They've taken their stance. Their leaders, they themselves, they've taken their stand. All others are mere rumors and speculations. So we are confident, ever confident that all the leaders of Southeast, the ordinary people from Southeast, hunger is everywhere. It doesn't select whether you are from the north, from the east, or from the south. Businesses have been shut down. Companies have been shut down. And you know they are more in business than any part of the country. And the lost within the 3 years cannot be quantified. And so the PDP is completely in control of the Southeast.
So will PDP field a presidential candidate in 2023 from the Southeast?
When we get there.
So we can't get you on record
when we get there.
to give that assurance?
When we get there.
Will Atiku be a one-term president? Will there be a vacancy in 2023?
He made promise, and I'm quite sure he's going to keep
So he made promise that he's going to be a one-term. But his policy document projects a 6-year term.
This is the problem with Nigeria. You must have a policy document that is sustainable, whether you are in government or outside government.
So you're confirming that he will only do 1 term?
I believe that he will keep to his promise.
Okay.
And the promise is to do 1 term?
I believe that he will keep to his promise.
Okay. Since you don't want to give us a definitive answer on that, in Kwara State, the president of the Senate, I mean, that's a stronghold for him. He's a member of your party now, but looking at the by-elections that just happened, it was a woeful failure. Are you confident of that state?
This is the same thing that has ever happened in Ekiti and Osun, where government will come with the federal might to deprive the people from voting. And this is what we've been shouting, talking about, that if election in 2019 is rigged, there will be crisis. You don't deprive the ordinary man his vote, his right to choose. They did that in the by-election in Kwara. So you can conclude that they won. They used all the government apparatus. Over 20,000 police people were deployed for only one constituency by-election. And people were scared. Members of PDP were stopped from coming to vote, like what happened in Osun State. It can happen. Look at Ghana. They can conduct. Everybody is free. Allow people to free come out and vote freely, without being harassed, without being intimidated. These are the issues. And I believe that is on its own. It has something to do with the fear from the other side. Any man that is scared to expand and he has instrument of office will begin, use an instrument of office to intimidate others for a reason of fear that he is going to lose. So you cannot say in Kwara State that is not PDP because of one constituency by-election. You can't.
Can we shift gears now and move to the economic blueprint for the PDP? One of the major criticisms of the current government is that they only came out with the economic recovery plan 2 years in. We expect that should Atiku win, he will hit the ground running. Can you give us some highlights of your economic plan?
Yeah, he's going to hit the ground running based on his blueprint or the economic policies. You are aware that today, if you travel to China and buy your goods, you won't see the vessels to bring them to Nigeria. All other ports are not working. Even Apapa port is congested. Nothing is going on today in Nigeria. Your goods will be at the port for over 6 months, ranging to even 1 year, uncleared. from day one. Atiku will decongest the ports. He's been there. He was a custom boss before. And the experience he has acquired over the years, I believe that his policy document speaks for itself. He is going to energize the economy by creating, allying, liberalizing the private sector. More hands. All over the world, the private sector, they are the engine room of the economy. It's different from this government. The private sector is going down on a daily basis. So Atiku is going to work with the private sector to improve the economy and create jobs, both for the youths and the country as a whole. So the agricultural sector that will do more employment will be robust, not only on yam tubers. And you know we're not exporting the yam today. What you see on the television is just mere show. But other areas of agriculture, palm produce, many, look, Atiku is going to unlock the potentials of our country and to the world. Investors are going to come in. He's done so before. He headed the most strongest team when Nigeria was the best economy in Africa. He was the head of the economic team. He's going to assemble the economic team. Once again, experts. There are no economic team in this government. So we are convinced that we are offering Nigeria the best and will unlock the potentials of Nigeria.
3 million jobs, to be exact, is what your party is promising. But let me ask you, because we've seen instances where the presidential candidate comes out with his own manifesto, and then the party comes with their own manifesto. Are you saying that the PDP is buying into this manifesto and policy document of Atiku Abubakar? If yes, 3,000 jobs, isn't that too overambitious?
3 million jobs.
3 million jobs
3 million
per year.
jobs per year. How is he?
You know how many Nigerians are out of job today? Over 12 million.
Great. Even the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics cannot count anymore.
Yes. More. So the government is, the government headed by Atiku is going to be very aggressive. The policy document you are talking about and the party manifesto, we're working on it. What he did was to release the policy document for Nigerians to make input. He's going to launch it out by the time we'll do the final finishing touches, both on the manifesto and the policy document to come to produce one document. Then we're going to launch out before the election.
Let's quickly go back to the issue of insecurity, because this is huge. The 2015 elections had to be postponed by some weeks because of insecurity challenges in the Northeast, if you remember. And then going into these elections, we're seeing pockets of all of this again. The Boko Haram insurgency, the farmer herders clashes, kidnappings. It's a whole mess. But the presidential candidate of your party is a Fulani. He knows this region very well. How much of that is it bringing to the table to ensure that this problem, which is not new to Nigeria, which is not new to this administration, is resolved once and for all?
You know that before 2015 and 2015, this insecurity was the Northeast. But today it has spread all over, to farmer herdsmen, to hoodlums. In Zamfara, you can't even go to Zamfara by road. Kaduna, to move from Abuja to Kaduna by road, you're at risk. And everybody thought that the president, as a former military general, should have an answer to it. But he has failed woefully. The security has collapsed. Economy has collapsed. I believe that Atiku, who is ready to engage all sections, will also engage farmers, engage herdsmen, and resolve their issues. they need to see who they are talking to. Okay. We don't need to see college of presidents. You don't know who is in charge. This is a major challenge to this government.
There's also one other question when it borders on insecurity. It's the issue of the Chibok girls, the remaining Chibok girls, and Leah Sheribu, the remaining Dapchi kidnapped girl. The Chibok girls happened during the PDP administration. This government has been able to secure some of the girls. However, 4 years down, we still have some of those girls that are yet to be released. What are you going to do regarding these kidnapped girls? Because we don't hear so much in all of these campaign trails going on by the PDP.
You know,
are there plans?
Yeah, before they came on board, they say, oh, immediately they come in, they will release the girls and all that and so on. Yes, some girls have been released, but not much have been had. We will engage those who are involved in the Chibok girls, not only deploring the people, but technology has to locate them and how to get them out. I believe that this government is not doing enough, either deploying technology or otherwise engagement. We've learned from our experience, and we're going to do more. And the president is going to do something totally different, because this is one president, Atiku, that you can see and you can feel, and he is able to move around and engage people. This is most important, because the president of a country must take responsibility, must be seen, and address issues, not when he travels abroad. Then you talk to Nigerians from abroad. It's not acceptable any longer. They want to see their president. They want to know what the president is doing. They want to see the president engage. Atiku is ready to engage all Nigerians to bring about peace.
But in conclusion, why exactly should Nigerians vote PDP over APC?
The reason why they are going to vote is that the economy has collapsed. All the companies have shut down, both in Lagos, elsewhere. The insecurity has risen and escalated, and we have solutions for them. We are coming with a rescue mission, and for the youths, and for everybody in this country. And that's the reason why, look, nepotism has taken a toll, almost 100%. It has never been practiced this way. But all of that, Nigerians are aware. Nigerians are ready for the change. We have to change. We have to take our government, not for them, and for us. Everybody, it is not a question of PDP. It is a rescue mission to recreate the future of Nigeria. So it can't be demonstrated to only PDP. It is the responsibility of all Nigerians. You mean we are going to go into 4 years of hunger again, of insecurity? Danjuma spoke. All the generals have spoken against what is happening in this country. The people must know now that they must take their destinies in their hands and protect themselves and protect their votes. And with what has happened even in Ghana, you can see the development of democracy and the development of a people. If it changes hand, and I'm quite sure it's going to change hand, whether they like it or not, government is going to change hand, PDP is going to come in, it is an improvement. We must learn from their mistakes. And so, the next time if we didn't do well, it will also change. We handed over freely without going to court in 2015. We thought that was the people's verdict. But they have failed in the 4 years. And the people are ready to vote for PDP.
It's only a matter of days. We'll see how ready the people are to vote for the PDP. And there are those who say 3 years and a half is so little to judge the ruling party.
In the life of the country where we're all dying in hunger and starvation.
Prince Uche Secondus, it's been a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
That's all from Prince Uche Secondus, National Chairman of the PDP. It's time now for a short break. When we return, it will be all about growing local content value in the Nigerian oil and gas sector with Executive Secretary of Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, Simbi Wabote. Don't go away.